Hey everyone, Tech Steve here, and today I'm going to show you guys a comparison between two televisions that are really popular on the market. Over here we have the Hisense U6H, and over here we have the Hisense A6H. Both of these models are 2022, but the U6H has an advantage where it has ULED technology as well as quantum dots. So in this video we're going to compare not only some of the features, but the picture test as well. So sit back and relax, and let's get started. So the first thing we'll talk about is the inputs on the U6H. Of course, you have your service port, an ATSC TV tuner. You also have 3 HDMIs on this side, as well as an AV input that you can hook up an adapter to it. You have a headphone output, 2 USBs. In addition to that, you have an Ethernet port, a fiber optic output, and a 4th HDMI input. When it comes to the A6H, it has 3 HDMIs instead of 4. Has 2 USBs, just like the other television, ATSC's tuner, fiber optic output, LAN connection. This one has a headphone jack and 3 RCA inputs instead of using an adapter, but you lose that 4th HDMI input. Next, we're going to take a look at the picture quality, but I want to show you guys the design of the rear of these television. When it comes to the A6H, you can see all the components are centralized right here in the center. As we go over to the U6H, you have this large enclosure right here, and I'm pretty sure that's going to give you better bass response, but all the components are hidden behind here. And I will tell you that both TVs can be mounted on the wall with a standard wall bracket. Now, one thing I want to point out is that both TVs use the exact same remote control. They have Bluetooth in it, you have voice commands, as well as some hotkeys at the bottom. Now, when it comes to the A6H, this one supports a picture profile of HDR10 and Dolby Vision. Now, when it comes to the U6H, it's a whole different thing. We have Dolby Vision, we have HDR10, so it will support Samsung files and HLG. There's a lot more information we're going to go over in this video, but I want to go ahead and reset the pictures and show you guys exactly how I have both of them set up. So I went ahead and put it to the factory. If we go to the top, hit the backlights, and you can see that the U6H has local dimming. It's on high right now. I'm going to just leave that on for this comparison. The U6H also has a few other features like auto light sensor that dims it with the room, and you also have light sensor shifting. Now, both TVs are in theater mode. In some cases, people say it gives you the best picture quality, but that is an opinion. And then these are all the contrast preset from the factory. Now, if we go over here to the vents, you see the color temperature the same, the motions in standard. The U6H has motion clearness, which is turned off. And then you have all these other settings that are exactly the same. With all that being said, let's go ahead and start looking at some demos. Here's the dirty screen effect. There's all kind of different numbers. This is 17, but just want to show you this is the worst case scenario. I can see a little bit of the backlights coming through here. There's a little bit of vignetting in the corners. On this television, I can see a little white zone here, and I can see a little bit of the backlights. But keep in mind, these are budget televisions. And this is a white uniformity test. The one thing I can tell is that if you look at the A6H, it has more of a gray look to it, where the U6H has more of a white tone. And you're going to get this kind of effect on most TVs, not just these Hisense. So here's another contrast test. One thing that really stands out to me is that the A6H actually looks more gray, and the U6H has more of this kind of pink glow. Now, I did make a full video on both of these TVs, but I want to show you the motion, and they're pretty similar actually. Even though the A6H has a 120 Hertz motion, the U6H has a 240 motion, but when it comes to performance, I don't know, it looks like the second line, the A6H, might be outperforming it, but tell me what you think in the comments below. Now, here's a blooming test on the television. To me, it looks like there's a little bit of blooming on both televisions, but not anything that really stands out as being the worst I've ever seen. I do know for sure that the U6H is a VA panel, and the A6H, there's not much data online right now to be able to tell which one is, but again, the blooming's pretty good on both TVs. So after doing that demo, in my opinion, I think both TVs look decent. Again, these are budget television, but the biggest thing is that the A6H actually has a really good picture, being that it's less money than the U6H. Now, when it comes to the U6H, it did have that pink glow, but I only noticed that on the tests. Whenever you have a signal on the television, I don't notice it at all. But the brightness on this television is going to be the deal breaker for people who like to watch HDR content. In fact, this TV has up to 600 nits of luminous brightness, and I can't find any information on this one yet, but I think if you're watching HDR, you're definitely going to go with the U6H. Now, I'm not a big gamer, but I'm going to have Justin to show you some gaming on both televisions just so you can see what they look like. And he told me that both TVs look almost the same to him, except for that brightness that I just mentioned. So I was watching Justin play some games on it, and the only thing that I noticed between the two TVs is that U6H is much brighter, but overall, the refresh rate and everything was exactly the same. In fact, both TVs can handle 4K at 60 frames per second, 1440p at 60 frames per second, and even though you can input a 1080p 120 hertz signal, there's still 60 hertz television, so I'm not sure if you're going to get any improvement off of that. Now, one thing that I want to tell you as well is that this A6H has a 8 watt by 2 amplifier for the audio system. The U6H has a 10 watt by 2 amplifier. So if you're not the type of person who buys a sound bar, let's take a listen to the speakers, and then you can tell me which one's going to be the best audio for your particular needs. As you can see, the U6H has a little bit better bass response because of the larger chassis. So overall, I think just for regular TV, both TVs would be fine for that. Now here's my opinion. When it comes to the A6H, personally, I thought it had better contrast ratio, even though it doesn't have local dimming, and the gray levels just seem to be a lot more solid. The overall TV has the same functionality of the U6H, so if you're looking for a solid TV at a lower price, definitely consider A6H. Now, the U6H is a little bit different because I think it's for someone who's going to watch a lot of movies, because that HDR content that you watch requires a lot of brightness. And the fact that this has up to 600, that's going to be a world of difference of watching a really dark movie with good gray levels or a dark movie that you can actually see. Also, I like the fact that this television will support more formats like, your Adobe Vision. It also supports your HDR10 Plus. So if you have a Samsung phone and you record with the HDR10 Plus, this will support it. But overall, I think both TVs are great. And if you guys are interested, I'll leave all the links below so you can go check it out, read reviews, and you can go see my tutorials where I show you more details on both TVs. Sorry about my energy dropping, guys. I know a lot of people from my channel lives in the UK, and the news just broke that Queen Elizabeth passed away, and just want to give you my condolences. All this is funny games, but for a lot of people, that's very important. So thanks all for watching, and catch you guys on the next one. And I do have some bonus footage. I'll play it anyway, but at the end of it, that's for you guys. See you on the next one. Peace.
next.